A beloved pastime across the globe is sports. Whether it's watching or playing, it is sure to bring people together. Many idolize athletes for their athleticism and the elegance they exude in the sport, but this puts all eyes on the athletes at all levels, whether that's high school, college, or even professional athletes.
Shocking news that gymnastics superstar Simone Biles abruptly pulled herself out of the team finals to focus on her mental health.
Biles faced backlash when she opted out of the Olympic Games, but it gave a greater view on how pressure affects athletes and why the stigma of mental health needs to be broken.
I say put mental health first, because if you don't, then you're not going to enjoy your sport.
While the Olympics might be the highest platform in sports, other athletes, like NFL player Ben Braden, felt the heavy pressure on and off the field.
But it was also the most mentally intense program I've ever been with, and it definitely made me feel like I couldn't be in the NFL.
With the popularity of sports like football, many have expectations for the players. These expectations weigh heavily on athletes as they try to please their audience.
Oh, can I do this or can't I do this?
Am I going to mess up in practice? Am I watching enough film? Am I being a good leader that I can be?
I always had to step on a field and do the very best that I could do.
Being an athlete means you always have someone watching and analyzing you. And when an individual or a team has success, the number of eyes on the athletes grow.
Actually, growing up in a place like Rockford where there's so much tradition and so much success.
Oftentimes we play on a pretty big stage.
A lot of people come to our games and, letting them down is, definitely on your mind.
Being out there and feeling like you have to prove something.
I always felt like I was being judged.
The fear of failure or letting people down is ever so present in athletes.
That's, I set really high expectations for myself and our team. So, when me or the team doesn't meet the expectations, it's hard to come back from that.
I get really frustrated with myself, thinking that I didn't do my best, I didn't perform my best.
It comes down to the mindset that
you're either going to step up to the plate or you're not.
There will always be pressure on athletes, so finding a way to cope with the stress that is brought upon from the pressure is key.
It comes down a lot to positive self-talk.
A lot of people in the NFL, I would say especially in the last couple of years, have expressed how you talk to yourself is a huge key, because you're going to be in really high pressure situations.
A lot of the top Olympians and All-Americans have found that, they've got a hobby in addition to their sport.
Whilst moving up the reins of high school athletics to their hopes of becoming a professional at their sport, the internal pressure to achieve their aspirations can cause a lot of conflict.
These kids have aspirations of winning a conference championship, and some, look at winning a regional championship, district championship, and even a state championship. There's individual pressures where kids, look at scholarships.
It was always like, oh crap, that was bad. No one's gonna recruit me. No college wants a player like that.
Athletes can take a step back at times by knowing there are other athletes going through the same stress they are.
People struggling with mental health is also just, you're not alone. I mean, some of the top athletes have been broken down mentally and had to figure out how to kind of recollect themselves.
Also, by having the mentality of winning and success isn't everything helps athletes.
They'll never hear me talk about watching the scoreboard, focusing on winning or losing a game.
That winning isn't everything. I mean, we all want to do that, but at the end of the day,
it's really truly about going out and giving their best.
There are so many more things that go into sport than just performances.
There's that pressure that whatever sport you're in has to come first. Definitely enjoy it. I mean, don't hold back in what you're doing in the sport, but also have that mentality with life. There's so much more to life than just sports, and you need to enjoy yourself.
By acknowledging the pressure that is put on athletes, we can take a step forward in breaking the stigma of mental health and appreciating athletes for all their hard work. This has been Elise Genter with Beyond the Rock, signing off.